Serious traffic disruption gripped Agege, Lagos on Saturday after a fully laden truck identified by registration number GGE 624YJ lost control and fell from the Penn Cinema Bridge, crashing onto two stationary commercial buses beneath. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority LASMA confirmed that the truck driver suffered severe fractures to both hands and was quickly extricated from the mangled wreckage before being rushed to the General Hospital in Ile-Epo for urgent medical care. According to LASMA's Public Affairs Director Adebayo Tofik, preliminary investigation suggests that the driver lost control while navigating the bridge, leading to the catastrophic fall. Swift response by LASMA officers and the LESEMA response unit helped clear the debris and restore normal traffic flow, while the accident scene was immediately secured to prevent secondary incidents. Expressing concern, LASMA General Manager Olaleka Bakari Oki called on truck drivers and all motorists to exercise extreme caution, especially as the rainy season sets in. He emphasized the need for compliance with road safety protocols and the use of newly installed speed limiting devices to curb road crashes. The LASMA boss also wished the injured driver a speedy recovery and reminded the public to contact the agency's toll-free hotline for real-time traffic assistance. Again, we have this truck fall in Lagos. I mean, the buses might have been loaded with people, and then we would have been talking about fatality now. But this is just a lone incident of a driver being there. But two buses...
The truck driver.
Yeah. Two buses were beneath and they were completely crushed. What are your thoughts on this report?
It's this is not the first time we have such thing.
Absolutely
I remember
not.
back in the days there was even a time it was more periodic, like every 2 weeks you hear there's an accident. In a space of 2-3 months you've heard that 3 buses. I mean, as a child growing up in Lagos, you heard that 3 buses fell off the bridge. I remember vividly there was an instance of a Molue back then when you have those long trucks that ferry people, fell off the bridge at Ijora, and the result wasn't a fantastic result. I mean, it's not something anybody... I mean, you can imagine falling on the floor while walking, you kick your leg against something and you fall. How hurtful it could be. Talk of falling off a bridge, trapped in a vehicle. So I think we should be a little bit glad here that the injury was not... There were not too many people involved, and from the report, I'm not sure there was a record of fatality. So to that extent, we should be grateful to God for that. But again, looking at these things, having had things occur again
repeatedly. That's where I was headed.
No matter how infrequent it has been, I think that beholds on the system. It may cost more money, to think of in constructing bridges or even the already existing one. Maybe we can have higher barricades, so as if something that can serve as a wedge, that if a vehicle is trying to plunge off the bridge. I mean, what comes to mind is what you have at the River Niger Bridge.
Okay.
That's talking of the old River Niger Bridge, those barricades as if it's, and I think you find something like that in the Lekki Bridge also. But that could serve as a wedge, so as the vehicle wants to plunge off, that could be a wedge to keep it back. Because, I mean, this truck, they say it's a laden truck. We don't know what it was carrying. But what would also come to mind, what if it's a fuel-laden truck and falls off?
Now, you just mentioned the fuel part of it. It could have actually been a fuel truck.
Absolutely.
We have had several reports. I think it was at the start of the month where there was a report of the, what's it called? The container that's falling on a tricycle. Absolutely. And everybody on board. Why do we have this thing happening repeatedly?
Talk of containers, those trucks that carry containers, I think majorly is because most of those trucks are articulate trucks. And when you use articulate trucks, you mean that they can be detached. I mean, the way they are built and all those things. Then those containers. Now, ideally, if we are people that keep to law, there should be provisions, safeguards before even those trucks, even from where they are loaded.
Right.
There should be barricades, safety measures to ensure whether this truck is fit to carry the load it wants to carry, and protection and other. But because we are a people who, like to cut things short and not those stuff, cut corners and all that. You still see trucks that obviously not fit carrying loads. At times you be on the road, see a truck tinted this way, and the guy is going very far. Yeah, they say, oh, you did nothing happen, but it takes a second for something to happen, and if it happens, the result is usually not, a very beautiful one. So if you're people who care very much about safety, some of these things, the way to solve them is first, what is the back in the days we used to have MOT. I wonder if they still operate effectively. MOT is I think Ministry of Transport something. They, even though then people because of how notorious they become, people said MOT was a messenger of trouble. But it was Ministry of Transport. They check how fit a vehicle is to ply on the road, and I think this thing should be the case with these trucks. It's easy to say, when you are ascending the bridge, be careful. But if a vehicle in itself is not fit, there is, no matter how careful the driver is, there is going to be an issue. Now, this does not rule out the fact that when you even talk about carefulness of a driver, how do you think somebody who perhaps, has taken some gulps of alcohol can be careful? So there are many issues to this. The state of the driver, what orientation do they have? Do they have some qualification? We live in a country where most of the times, people may just employ. Do you have specialized institutions that train people, not just for drivers, that train people for truck driving? Before you be a truck driver, you have to go through this institution. And one of the things they should teach you should not just be how to drive the truck, but helping you understand the implications of driving whatever kind of vehicle you are driving, the possibility of something going wrong, as it were, the risk analysis of it. So you understand that, this truck I'm driving, there's a possibility of something going wrong. And you actually understand what is that thing that can go wrong. And if it goes wrong, what would be the implication to me, to the other road users, and to the state at large? Because, a truck falling off the bridge has a tendency of also damaging the bridge. That's an implication to the state. If it's like I was thinking, if it's maybe a fuel laden truck and it goes off and, there is fire, it has implication for structures around it. Then the fatalities that may happen. Then, of course, to the individual, safety demands that it's not just about, it's something everybody should be concerned about. You are not just interested in driving that truck to deliver whatever it is you want to deliver, but care should be taken, both those sending you and the driver too. The priority should be to return safely. I think safety measures should be included. And now we give it to Lagos and last month. They have been doing fairly well in traffic management, but what is the safety component of traffic management? Has anybody ever thought of that? And the states that issue driver's license, like I said, is there a safety component to those things? If we don't check this thing, they would happen again. We may have gotten off with this one with no fatality, little injuries and all that. It may not be the same next time, and we can't wait for things to go full-blown haywire before we wake up as a people. So we can think of maybe having barriers. Of course, I know bridges have barriers, but a higher barriers that can serve as a wedge. We can think of educating these truck drivers. We can think of, so many things that can be done to forestall these things from happening again. And even some of the trucks, what is their lifespan? How fit are they before they came into the country? Some of them have been overused before getting into the country. So as they come in, they're already coming in more like at the exit point of their lifespan. Yet we bring them in to use it for many other years, and nobody checks them. All the vehicles
why isn't nobody checking? There ought to be people checking.
It's a system thing. Now, for all the vehicles, all the used vehicles that come into the country, we all buy tokumbo cars. Do we have a system of checking? That's where the roadworthiness check comes in. But even before they hit the road, do we have a system that checks these vehicles, these items coming into the country, how fit? Do we even have a defined standard that this is how fit a vehicle should be to ply the Nigerian road, or even a particular state? Does each state, maybe given that we are a federal state, maybe Rivers State, Lagos State, Kano State, do each of them have a specific standard to say, oh, for any vehicle to apply this state, this is the level of worthiness we want it? These are things that can be done. You don't just bring in any vehicle and hit the road. There should be a check. Then, of course, like I talked about the state of the drivers, do we have specialized institutions that train this guy that say, oh, hello, even if you have been driving for donkey years somewhere else, you're coming to a new terrain now. Like most people that drive in Nigeria, by the time you go to UK or something, you don't just jump into the next available vehicle and start driving. You still have to go through some training before they issue you a license. Can't we have such thing here that, oh, even though you have been driving so please, no matter how sophisticated the road and something like that, when you come here, let us even ascertain that you are fit
enough
to apply the Nigerian road, the Rivers road. I mean, it will help some of these things.
Thank you so much for your insight on that.